Hi, my name is Lulu, and I am into a lot of different fandoms. I like anime, I like reading sci fi fantasy, I like all kinds of nerdy stuff, and more than that, I like to talk about it. I also like to craft. So, for the next little while, sit back, hang out, and craft along with me while I go over whatever it is that I'm currently into.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Craft and Chat. I am your host Lulu, and I hope everyone has had a wonderful week so far, as difficult as that might be sometimes. To begin, I wanted to go straight into the knitting. We've gotten pretty far now. I can begin to see like how the pattern itself is developing. I've got a lot more of my, 90s style rips that are really super exciting. I am hoping that within the next episode or two, we might actually meet up with halfway. So I wanted to give a little reminder that when this not shawl, it is a cowl. I'm sorry, terminology is hard sometimes. But when the cowl is finished, I will be uploading a kind of bonus video of a time lapse from beginning to end, and you'll be able to see the entire cowl as it's being made. I'm really excited about that. Once again, I am knitting in the Stoker colorway. This is footsie hand-dyed yarn by Voolenvine Yarns. There will be a link to her YouTube channel in the description below. And the pattern I am using is by Inked Empress Fiber Arts. She also has a website and a YouTube channel, which will be in the description. If you have time, please check them both out. It's probably likely that if you are here for the knitting, then you absolutely know Vine Yarns, though. So I don't really foresee me really getting too much traffic her way. But hey, maybe I can, maybe I don't know. Anyway, um, but yeah. So that is the knitting. Before we get into this week's episode, I did want to put out, a little message about it. I am doing, um, this is going to be the first situation where it's not one part. It'll be two parts at least. It might be more. I don't know yet. And it is going to be on Harry Potter and different theories or rants or just feelings in general I have. But these opinions are about the books. This podcast is meant to dissect the books and only the books. I am not going to be getting into any of my opinions about J.K. Rowling herself. I know that she is the focus of some controversy right now, um, justly deserved, but that's not about that. This is about the stories I read as a kid and I've reread growing up. Um, I also not going to be getting too much into the movies. So if I say something about the books and you're like, "Oh, hey, but it happened way different in the movie," that's fine. But I'm not talking about the movie because I don't remember most of them. I don't have a I, the music was amazing, but that's the movies are kind of like a time lapse of the books. They're very pretty, but so no, I'm going to be talking about the books. This ended up being a very long disclaimer. Sorry about that, guys. Today we are actually going to be talking about Ron's character development, and I feel like it should have gone very, very differently. Like, let's look at book one Ron. Book one Ron is vastly different than Ron in the rest of the series. And the main difference about him, there are two, is one, he is incredibly helpful. He doesn't even really know that Harry is Harry Potter at first, and he's welcoming to him. Like, that is what differentiates Harry's opinion of Ron versus Harry's opinion of Malfoy, is that Malfoy's kind of a jerk when they first meet, and Ron is warm and welcoming, and he just, like, treats Harry like another kid, which hasn't really ever happened to him thus far in his life. Because, Harry's faced the bullying and the Dursleys and just had a miserable time of it. And then here's Ron, and, he's a pretty chill dude. He knows a lot about the wizarding world, having, grown up in the wizarding world, and he helps Harry with a lot of information regards to things that Harry doesn't know. And he doesn't really make fun of Harry for not knowing. It's just another thing. Harry came from the Muggle world, so let's help him. Another aspect of Ron is he's a tactician. I mean, the dude defeats a human version of wizard chess enchanted by arguably the second most intelligent teacher in all of Hogwarts, the first being Dumbledore himself. And you know what? That's even debatable. I'm not sure that Dumbledore is smarter than Professor McGonagall. He's just more eccentric sometimes. Like, and Ron defeats this chessboard. And at the end of it, when he's realizes time for the title, it's the only way I have to be taken. He sacrifices himself to win the game and to get Harry and Hermione further in their trials. Dude knows what he's doing, okay? And that creates such a balance, and he thinks on his feet. That's another thing. Like, look at the plant. Again, we're talking into the book. Look at the plant. Ron and Harry are both entangled by the vines of this thing. They don't know what it is. And Harry's kind of freaking out. Hermione is definitely freaking out. And Ron is having Hermione go through and utilize her intelligence. It's another pivotal scene of, how am I going to start a fire? There's no wood. Insert Ron. Are you a witch or aren't you? He's just like, bam, like, lady, come on. And then it snaps her into focus, and she does it. She handles it. That's Ron book one. The tactician, very kind, welcoming, helpful, thinks on his feet. After book one, that goes away. After book one, the only real things that Ron does is cause conflict throughout the series. He is getting his wand broken and vomiting up slugs and constantly fighting with Hermione because their pets don't match. Like, all of his tolerance and his welcoming, like, they kind of just go out the window. And the older he gets, the more he kind of becomes Gryffindor's Malfoy in a lot of ways. Like, by the end of the series, he's still loved because he's Harry's best friend. Like, book four with the Triwizard Tournament, you wonder even why. Why? Like, he turns into this very stereotypical, kind of dumb, kind of really dumb, arrogant dummy head. And that's none of that was set up in the first book. Not really. And if, gosh, the book series would have gone an incredibly different direction if Ron had maintained his positive characteristics through the series. And some of the changes would be just that, first off, why didn't he join Quidditch in book two? There's absolutely no reason that he wouldn't have joined Quidditch in book two, outside of Oliver Wood hadn't graduated yet. Like, are there only openings on the Quidditch team when someone graduates? And when Harry joined in year one, were there no graduates of the Quidditch team? Like, we know the main players, but like, are there no benched players? It's really weird. It's a strange setup if the more I think about it compared to like other sports where you have the bench, you have people rotating in and out and just but so why didn't Ron join the Quidditch team in book 2? Why didn't he try out? Why didn't he do anything with it? Because he has trained with his brothers. Like, I know it was either Bill or Charlie, might have been both of them, were fantastic Quidditch players. They're heralded. And then, of course, you have the Weasley twins themselves, Fred and George, who are amazing beaters. And then you have, Harry from year one, and Ron has been shown that during the summer he plays with them, he trains with them. He has more or less been raised and coached by some of the school's best Quidditch players. It's sort of almost like his legacy. And none of that is really shown. Like, even Jenny, not even Jenny, but Jenny, the youngest, who doesn't always seem to practice with them or hasn't always seemed to show a lot of interest in Quidditch. She is very good at Quidditch. And it's stated in the books that Ron is okay, but he gets too nervous. Well, maybe he should have joined in book 2 when he was the proper age. He's obsessed with Quidditch. Like, there is no real reason for him to not have tried out for the Quidditch team when he was old enough as a second year to do so. He also plays keeper. He is also a tactician, which means come, which one is it? Book 5? The Order of the Phoenix. Ron should have been the team captain. He has the tactical skill. He plays keeper, which means he can see pretty much the entire field. Harry is the seeker, who is supposed to be focusing only on the snitch. It makes zero sense to make him the head of the Quidditch team. He can't observe the team. He can't help people. He knows, like, his job. Ron, again, has been training most of his life with excellent Quidditch players. He has been following Quidditch most of his life. Again, book 1 beats McGonagall's chessboard. He's smart. He's tactical. He knows the game. He's talented. He should have been the captain of the Quidditch team. And if that had happened in book 4, there might have been a little bit of a less of a reason for Harry and Ron to suddenly go at odds, because as usual, let's give Ron, like, Ron has shown some aspects of jealousy like in the past, but they were always to his brothers and not really to Harry. And then in book 4, oh look, Ron is super mad and grumpy and just like, I don't know, maybe they still would have argued, but I feel like it wouldn't have been as severe, which would have placed them in a very good situation for Ron to help Harry with the dragon fight. Because, yeah, Hermione helping is okay. She's got the intelligence, but Ron would be the one that'd be like, hey, what if you flew in this pattern? What if you did this? What if you did that? But he doesn't, because after book one, all of his tactical skills just go away. Other examples where Ron should have been useful and wasn't, both times they go into the Ministry of Magic. That Ron could have easily come up with a plan, especially he had people. But Ron doesn't come up with any of the plans. Harry does, and then Hermione does. Like, it doesn't. Those are scenes where Ron would have been incredibly helpful. Putting together the DA. Ron should have been the one to be like, hey, Hermione, can you do this thing? Can you enchant these coins? Like, that is a thought that Ron should have had, but it was given to Hermione because Hermione's character kind of developed, but Ron's didn't. Like the rebellion against Voldemort, all of camping. And if you've read the books, I'm assuming everyone's read the books at this point. Camping, you know what I mean. Ron should have been helpful there. And again, if Ron is this big famous tactician, once more you had the situation, Ron has to leave Harry and Hermione because he has to go and learn stuff that they don't have a way of knowing. And the whole thing is Ron has been wearing the necklace and it makes him angry and jealous because curses, and then he's suddenly like got all of this baggage. Once again, this baggage just appears because it's needed for that area, and I could really see it happening to a smaller scale. And then they kind of figure it out, and then Ron still be like, all right, I gotta go. I've got to do more than what I'm doing right now. Like, you guys have got this search thing. I'm gonna go see what I can find. I'll I will find you guys again. That makes for a way stronger storyline, I feel, than just having Ron storm off and run away for a few chapters. Like, I also feel like Ron should have been good at charms. Like, he's pretty much he's the only main character, really, that doesn't have a proficiency in any class. Hermione's good at everything, but specifically Transfiguration. Harry, the Dark Arts. Neville is good at herbology, and I think Ron would have naturally been good at charms. The first spell you see him try to do is a charm. It doesn't work, but still, he tries to do it. So yeah, as a little tag on there, I feel like Ron should have been good at charms. And I also feel like I am really running out of time. I could keep talking. I really could. And that's why this is going to be more than one parts. Some of these parts might be a little more controversial than this. I don't know yet. Haven't decided. But we're done for the day. What do you think of Ron's character? Let me know in the comments. Like, or yeah, just what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And where do we go from here? I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. Again, I know it's not always easy, especially with the way things are right now, but hope. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.